Thank you so much, Sarah Apollo, for giving us an insight in regard to career and wellness. Now we shift gears and we take a look at what's happening on the Twitter streets and the conversation on the Twitter jabs in regard to the Omoro County by-election continues. Now it should also be remembered that following the of the former Speaker of Parliament, may his soul rest in eternal peace, that is Mr. Jacob Bolanya, on the March of 20th, Electoral Commission went ahead to set aside a date where by-elections would be held for Omoro County Parliamentary. And of course, as a close of business yesterday, the nominees were 6 candidates, and these include Andrew Olanya Ojok, who was a representative from the NRM party. We had Simon Akecha, who is a representative from the NUP, Justin Odong, Forum for Democratic Change, Oscar Chiza, a representative from ANT, Jimmy Walter Onen, together with Terence Odonga. Now, it should also be remembered that when it comes to this particular gentleman, that is Simon Akecha, he actually went ahead, or earlier on he had I beg your pardon, during the first contestant, he did contest earlier on with the Jacob Bolanya in Omoro County, where he came second with 9,088 votes against Olanya, who got 11,444 votes. He claims, well, he went ahead to claim that the election was rigged, but again, that is a story for another day. Now, he was among the other candidates who were nominated on the first day, that is Thursday, in Omoro District Council Hall. The others were Jimmy Walter Onen and the rest that I mentioned earlier. Now, the NRM party chairperson for Omoro District, known as Dennis Kidega, went ahead and says that Andrew Ojok was not chosen as the party's flag bearer based on leadership competences. He was based on leadership competences and not the fact that he is the son of the fallen speaker. He also adds that whereas it is true that the mantle was given owing to the passing of his father, who has previously held the same seat, Ojok as an individual possesses the required skills and educational level that this particular office requires. Of course, it should also be noted that elections begin to, I beg your pardon, campaigns begin today. Of course, some people feel that some political parties or some aspirants have gone ahead to start campaigning even before the Electoral Commission gives a go-ahead. But it should be noted that actually campaigns are supposed to officially begin today. And joining me at the center of this conversation is none other than Mr. Nsube Richard. I hope I got that name right. And he's the Deputy Spokesperson, Electoral Commission. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you very much, Auma, and I want to thank the management of CTV for bringing us here to make sure that we engage the public in regards to matters that are electoral in nature.
Absolutely. So
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Okay, yes. So first things first, I am aware that you were in Omoro District County and Omoro District, still the same thing, on the first day when the by-elections began.
Yes.
Please paint for us a picture in your capacity as the Deputy Spokesperson for the Electoral Commission. How was it like?
Yeah, thank you very much. The Electoral Commission, I think briefly, we had the nomination for those vying to be members of Parliament for Omoro County, and then also had those that want to contest as because there's a vacancy for the woman councillor, yes, representing the Lalogi and Lakwaya electoral area, and also for the older persons. On 12th, I think, and 13th, that's when we had the nominations, and it was colorful, it was peaceful, and I want to thank the stakeholders, the management of the electoral of Omoro District, the electoral managers, for having organized a very, very, very peaceful and elaborative nomination process. By closure of business on 13th, we had, like we said, we had 6 candidates that had been duly nominated by the returning officer. And also we had 6 that had also been nominated for the district woman councillor for the Lalogi and Lakwaya electoral area. So the picture I can paint is it was very peaceful, very colorful. People came and supported their aspiring candidates.
Okay. And
we are so happy that those that wanted, that aspired to be candidates, eventually were not duly nominated by the returning officer.
Okay.
Yes.
So as the campaigns kick off today, as a representative and as a deputy spokesperson for the Electoral Commission, what are your expectations from the aspirants?
We expect a lot, and I'm sure also they expect a lot from us.
Absolutely.
As managers of elections, we have already drafted the campaign guidelines, and we've disseminated them to the stakeholders, especially the candidates and the political parties. We don't expect, because campaigns start from 7 to 6. From 7 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
And we don't expect people to campaign beyond that time.
Before and beyond that time?
Beyond,
as well.
yeah.
Okay.
We don't have to campaign before 7 a.m. and also you're not supposed to go beyond 6 p.m. The returning officer has already harmonized the programs for those that are vying, for the candidates that are going to start campaigning today.
Okay.
And we don't expect people to crisscross or to disregard the harmonized program. Because, we've seen so many times, oftentimes, if you're campaigning in a certain electoral area and I'm also supposed to be in a different electoral area, in one way or the other, then I also want to come to show my might. And then I come and then disrupt you. We've taken through all these candidates, what they're supposed to do in terms of demeanor, in terms of respect for the electoral laws, and then also for their competitors or opponents. So that at the end of the day, when campaigns are held in a free, fair, and harmonized manner, that also paints a picture that the polling day is also going to be peaceful and harmonious.
Okay.
Yes.
So on the side of the voters, you have talked on the side of the people, of the aspirants and the contestants that are vying for this Omoro County position.
Yes.
How about on the side of the voters, me and you?
So as voters, first of all, we are supposed to respect the law.
Absolutely.
Like I said, we are not supposed, we are supposed to make sure that when it comes to campaigns or following the candidates and their manifestos, we are supposed to not use foul language. We're not supposed to be physical. We're supposed to go and listen. Please, SOPs are still in place. We're supposed to observe the standard operating procedures. COVID is still with us. People think that COVID is gone. But according to some of the information we have, some people are still bedridden. Some of them are still working, but with COVID. So the Electoral Commission has rolled out a program. As voters, let's move within that program. Let's make sure that we go and listen to the best candidate. Please, let's not be bribed. Let's not be intimidated. It's our right as voters to listen and sieve out the best message so that on the day of polling, we go and vote the best candidate, the person we think that is best suited to represent us. So I think as voters, that's what we're supposed to do. But before, please, when campaigns end, we don't expect any person to continue campaigning. We don't expect any person to keep on wearing their party colors and their flags and everything. So I think briefly that's what I can tell our voters. The role of a voter is not so much, apart from going and listening to the best candidates so that they're informed. They make an informed decision when they're casting their ballot.
Okay.
Yes.
So now taking a look at the plans and the execution, and of course looking at the fact that after campaigns, voters will be able to be able to cast their vote and even elect who they think is the best person to take up. Yes. So how many polling stations exist in Omoro County as well as voters?
Yeah. The number of voters, because we've done the update and the display, I don't have it offhand, but what I'm very sure of is we have 84 polling stations in Omoro County.
Okay.
That's where people are going to go and cast their votes. Already, the trainings are ongoing. For those that are going to participate, so not the training, the sieving process.
Yes.
For those who are going to manage elections at the different polling stations.
Okay.
And we think that on the day of polling, first of all, people are going to will be knowing where they vote from, because we are going to issue them with voter allocation slips. So we have 84 polling stations in Omoro, and we have 2 vacancies to fill. That of the direct elected member of parliament,
yes, and
then that of the woman councillor for those 2 sub-counties. We call them electoral areas, La Logi and La Kwaya. Yes, madam. Okay, so
the fact that let's look at Omoro District and Omoro County. I know those are totally 2 different entities. True. So are the people from Omoro District allowed to also participate in these by-elections for the Omoro County as well?
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, what qualifies you as a voter of any particular voting area or electoral area is you're supposed to exist in the National Voters Register. We did the update of the National Voters Register, where we called upon people to come, those who want to transfer. If you're in a Omoro district and you want if you are in Igulu or everywhere, but you think you are qualified to vote in Omoro County, yes, people were making those transfers to go and vote. And then those who had never registered, those who are 18 and above, but had never registered as voters. So we did that update of the National Voters Register. Now, after that, whoever missed out, which means that person is not going to appear on the voters register. So what makes you a voter? What makes you qualify to participate in the Omoro elections is you're supposed to be a voter who is in the National Voters Register. So whether you're in Kampala right now and time comes for elections and you think you want to go and vote for your candidate, as long as you are in the voters register, the registers that we are going to send on polling day, please go and participate. So whether you're in the Omoro district, in Lira or in Kampala, but you are a voter in Omoro district and you exist in our voters register, please, you're best qualified to go and participate.
Okay.
Yes.
So some members of the public feel that why is there a need to hold fresh elections when you can actually get a member that passed through during the previous Omoro County election? Why are we going through a whole phase of holding elections again? Some would say it is in a bid to save taxpayers' money.
Yeah. Everyone, of course, is concerned about the taxpayers' money.
The second candidate from the previous election.
Because we are all taxpayers.
Yes.
Even us who work for government, we are taxpayers. But this is in the law. When there's a vacancy at any electoral area, either parliament, even president, even lower local governments, for purpose of parliament, the clerk to parliament writes to us indicating the vacancy. Now, by law, the commission is supposed to organize election within a period of 60 days. So we cannot abscond from that. It's a mandate, it's a command. And then we, like I said, even us as citizens, we think, maybe, why don't we pick but you know, for democracy, people's opinions change. People's needs and wants change.
Yes.
They keep on changing. So you cannot say that because I was second to you, I should now be imposed on the people. The process has to begin again. I go and convince, because you never know, a new force may emerge. Or maybe I didn't put my manifesto by that time in a proper manner. So democracy demands that everyone is given a chance to make sure they go and, you know, present their manifestos to the people, and then the best manifesto will be picked by the majority.
Okay.
So it's not that we think that, okay, so the second best should be picked due to the general elections. No, no, no.
It is a whole process.
It's a whole process, and it's mandatory. It's by law.
Okay.
That the Electoral Commission has to go back and organize. That's why we call them by-elections, because they're elections of the general elections.
Okay.
Yes.
So considering that this is the first election process after the March 2022 verification of administrative units, has this made the process much easier than before?
Yeah, the commission undertook that process, and like we are stakeholders wanted to harmonize the administrative units from the country itself up to the lowest level, that's the village. So the commission, we finalized that process. We harmonized all administrative units. So we've also shared that information with the stakeholders. Now, the process is going to be so harmonious, because now, as Electoral Commission, we know the number of villages that exist in Uganda.
Okay.
We know the number of parishes that exist in Uganda. We've harmonized with local governments, and then the wananchi, the people on ground. So now the process is going to be as smooth as possible, so that even when you are you're going to register as a voter, you know your village that exists in the database.
Yes.
So it was a very, very prosperous and it was a prosperous process, because we think that at the end of the day, that kind of disintegrated administrative units that the CAO had and the Electoral Commission, and we've now harmonized it. So we think all elections and even other processes for other agencies, MDGs, we are going to have the best process, yes.
Okay. Now, there are members of the public, and even in the tweets when we were going over them with my colleague Sarah earlier on in the first part, there are members of the public who feel that the winner of the Omoro County by-election is predetermined by the ruling party. What is your message to them, or what are your sentiments towards this?
First of all, these are perceptions.
Okay.
In elections, we have perceptions, and perceptions are normal, they are human. But the reason as to why we send people to go and campaign is for them to sell their manifesto to the people. Now, the best person will win, because at the end of the day, we shall go through the same process. We shall add up the votes, count them, announce the winner per polling station. At the district, we shall add up and the best candidate. So it's not predetermined, because otherwise, if it was like that, all by-elections that we've had before would have been won by that group that we've talked about. So the best candidate or the best party will take it all. For us as organizers, we make sure that we provide a conducive environment. We provide the laws, the guidelines, so that people go and reach out to the voters in their different capacities, using different methods: social media, the one-on-one, door-to-door, bizindalo, all those are provided in the law. Okay. So please don't give up, don't be dissuaded. You know, there are people who are going to tell you, for us already, we are winners. So that some of the voters, shy off. Go and cast your vote, and your vote, it's one man, one vote, and your vote will count. Okay. I assure you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So which other entities is the Electoral Commission working with to ensure the smooth election when it comes to the Omoro County elections, by-elections?
Yeah, thank you so much. We have, as a commission, we don't work in isolation.
Okay.
We work with different organizations and agencies. I think the immediate one is the Uganda Police, because that one they provide for us security throughout, from the time we launch the program towards up to the end. Then we also have the media. It's the reason that's why I'm here, so that we mobilize people, we publicize this activity. We have the media, that's the Fourth Estate. We have the voters themselves. We have the civil society organizations. They're also on board. We work with so many political parties. We cannot go without mentioning political parties, the candidates themselves, the government, because it gives us the funds. So we work with so many people as stakeholders to make sure that the elections that we do organize are successful, and the elections that we do organize are all encompassing, all inclusive. We don't work in isolation. We don't just come up and elections and now we bar. So it's the reason now why we come here as to the Fourth Estate, to you, the media, because we know you're so resourceful. Okay. This information is going to go to the deepest person in the village of Omoro, even to the deepest person where I come from, because they're not voters in Omoro, but they are going to know that there is an election in Omoro. Okay. Yeah. So in case candidates feel disgruntled, is the commission willing to come up and even solve these issues among them? For example, last week the NRM supporters crossed with the NUP supporters. Yes, as managers of elections, it's our mandate to make sure that we harmonize grievances. Okay. We solve problems. Now, I don't want to use that very example, but we always have complaints desks at the office of the returning officer, even here at the headquarters. In case you feel you're disgruntled, maybe during campaigns, and you think someone is campaigning beyond time, you report to the returning officer, and the returning officer is going to report that matter to the police so that it's investigated, so that it doesn't occur anymore. In case someone is abused physically or something like that, you report to the police, but also you tell us as managers of elections, so that we first of all record these occurrences, and then to also mitigate so that they don't reoccur. Now, the reason as to why you harmonize campaign programs is very simple, so that everyone knows where they are supposed to be at a given time, in a given place. Now, processions after campaigns, like if this is the venue, CTV, and I'm campaigning from here, I'm not supposed to hold a procession from here to Kampala. After that, people should disperse and go to their different places. So processions are still not allowed. So please, let's make sure that, as candidates, we have the voice. If you mislead people, they are going to be misled. But if you tell them the truth, that please, after this, let's do ABCD. Before we go to this venue, let's do ABC. People are going to follow that. So we urge candidates and the political parties to make sure that they lead the voters or their supporters to the right places at the right time.
Okay,
yes.
So as campaigns officially start today, and of course the election date being the 26th of May, what measures has the Electoral Commission put in place to make sure that there is no electoral misconduct?
First of all, like I said, we've given out the guidelines. Two, we shall be on air. We are glad that CTV always invites us, and other media organizations.
Yes.
We've also engaged the different stakeholders in form of meetings and engagements to make sure that we let them know the do's and the don'ts. The Electoral Commission in Omoro is also on the ground because they harmonized. When they harmonize the program, they go through so many nitty-gritties that govern elections, that govern campaigns and polling. So I'm sure the candidates and their agents and the political parties know, because all of them are invited, know what they're supposed to do. But please, the long arm of the law is there. Don't feign ignorance that I didn't know ABCD. If you're not sure of something, please go and consult. Please don't find yourself breaking the law, because the law will not forgive you. We don't want to always have people being policed by these laws. Please obey the law and the guidelines. Where you think there's a problem, consult. Our offices are open at the headquarters here. The commissioners are there. The technical people are there. At the district, the regional election officer is there. The DEA is there. That's the returning officer. We have people on ground. The people we call sub-county supervisors and parish supervisors. Those are our staff. They have the information. Of anything, please consult them. Please make sure that you engage the Electoral Commission, not engage other people, because they're going to give you wrong information. We are the managers of the elections, and we know how elections are supposed to be held and conducted. Okay. So I think I should emphasize that do not find yourself breaking the law or against, the law should not find you in a place where it's going to work on you. Let's make sure that we follow it instead of the law following us. Yes. Yes.
So as we wrap up the conversation, any last remarks to the voters and to the candidates from the Electoral Commission?
Yeah, first of all, I want to commend the stakeholders. They have publicized and they have mobilized the people, because we saw it during the nomination time. People came, people are aware of what's happening. Let's use this very vigor. Let's use this the energy to go to the campaigns and listen to the best candidate. Let's not be intimidated. If you're a voter, you're 18 years and above, you have your independent decisions to make. Go and see the best candidate. Please do not break the law. Where you think there's a problem, consult. Where you think something has gone wrong, go to the returning officer, come to our headquarters. Please, 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 the law and the guidelines are there. Let's follow them.
Yes.
I think that's and then I think lastly, I want to urge the candidates and the political parties to mobilize their people so that they come in large numbers during campaigns and also on voting day. So that, we always have issues. By elections, you find some people are not mobilized. And it's not only the Electoral Commission to blame, it's everyone to blame. So let's work as a group, let's work as a unit to make sure that the migrant mother, deep there in Omoro, knows that there's an election and these are the vacancies to fill, so they turn in large numbers.
At the end of the day, what we can say is that may the best man win. Whoever deserves the position should definitely win.
Yes, let the best person win.
Absolutely.
And as Electoral Commission, we've provided a conducive environment for people to make their decisions independently without fear or favor.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us this morning on Sunrise at Sea.
Thank you so much, Auma. Thank you very much for hosting us. Please always call us here so that we come and engage the public and let them know of what's happening.
Absolutely.
At the Electoral Commission.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, that winds up the conversation that we had for you this morning on the Twitter Jobs, and I was joined by Mr. Nsube Richard, and he is the Deputy Spokesperson for the Electoral Commission. Right about now, we take a look, and we're going to be getting into the segment of our views where we are going to be discussing family rejection. So keep watching Sunrise at Sea and don't blink.